this is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely in the
Yes.
Epstein, and ultimately I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing.
Yes, there is something more concerning. I don't know if you've seen this. This lawyer made it clear he has a lease, something we have been talking for a very long time. Now, the information. So I just got, I have the complete video. I'm going to show you what exactly is going on. It took a lot of people, like, why would Trump administration do this? They have the lease. The information I just got, you can see it clearly. Pam Bondi filed a lawsuit. Made on that lawsuit, she's still revealing that people like Laura Luma reacting to it, calling her a liar, even saying Trump administration should sack her. This is just the beginning. It is important we take an exclusive look into all this. If you love what I'm doing, you subscribe, share the video if possible.
So you go back to that day outside after we'd run into the press. We're taken down to our phones and we begin to break this story. We post that picture that I posted holding the Epstein files. My intention was within 30 seconds because that's how you game the X algorithm. You do a post, then you do the second post on the thread. Everyone knows this. My intention was to say,
I did
but
not
this
know
is
that
the
until
real
this moment.
story.
You just taught me something. I did not know that. Keep going.
It works like a dream. Unless, of course, you're in this situation. Then it gives the White House 30 seconds to tell you that actually there's an embargo on the story because they don't want President Trump to be asked during his press conference with the UK Prime Minister only about the files. So suddenly, Megyn, I find myself in this position where I'm like, oh no, because I also am, chronically on X, and I see that those media photos that were taken of us out back weren't just posted to a random website somewhere. They were starting to catch fire online. And it starts to look like the train wreck unfolding before my eyes that it was. People, and I understand why they felt this way, they start to think, oh, these influencers are being gatekeepers. They're engaging in clickbait, all of these things, which you make a decision at the beginning of your career when you're in this business. Are you going to be bombastic? Are you going to be hyperbolic? Are you going to engage in clickbait? Are you going to be ethical? And anybody who, I've been in this business a long time now, 10 years, more than 10 years. Anybody who's ever listened to me, watched me, or read my work knows that I made the choice not to do that. I'm very transparent with my audience. I'm very honest. I don't engage in hot takes, even if it might get you more clicks.
Experience of it was not, for whatever it's worth, that you guys were engaging in clickbait. I saw you guys as a bunch of innocent victims of the whole thing. I was like, of course I know all of you, at least by your tweets and so on. And I think this is a very loyal group to the president. This is a group that's been important to the president's election. This is a group that helped provide context, throughout the entire campaign when the mainstream was lying. This is part of the group that would try to set the record straight, provide additional facts and context. So there's no way this White House would willingly want to embarrass this group. So they've invited them to the White House, clearly. They've given them these binders that read, Epstein file. They've allowed them to be photographed holding the binders. And those photos hit the internet. And then within, a very short time after the photos hit the internet I don't even remember how it came out, but it was like, there's nothing new in there. There's nothing new. There's nothing new.
I talked to President Trump man to man, eye to eye on St. Patrick's Day about this and the Kennedy files and the King files. It was all one conversation. And he said, and I agree, there are a lot of names associated with Epstein.
Yes, this is just how this started. They came out with these binders. Oh, people were jubilating, influencers were holding this everywhere on social media. We knew like the fights are out. Social media did not take this lightly. They blew up. Everybody was complaining like these informations are already out. After some time, Pamboni came out and responded to that. Oh, the fights are on my decks. Oh, it's like this, it's like that. That story was a little bit, people were waiting, like the list is coming out. Just the other day, Anxious released an article like this is the end. There is nothing like that. And Pam Body responded in a way like this is the end. Now we are getting a different story about this whole thing. This is extremely concerning. This man made it clear. This is Epstein lawyer. He made it clear he knows who is on that list. I don't understand why they're hiding. Extremely important. If you love what I'm doing here, please subscribe, share the video, and check if your notification is on.
I think the files existed at one time. I think they were destroyed in the previous administration. And I think if they'd ever had anything on Trump, it would have been out day one.
Agreed.
Under the Biden administration. And I think there's some very prominent people. There's Hollywood people, but I think there's world leaders too. And would it have caused economic disruption around the globe? Maybe, but I don't really care. I want to.
You think there's a theory? Is there a theory, perhaps, that none of the, or not none, but maybe some of the people on the list didn't do anything wrong, and this would be a terrible guilt by association to put their names out, just to put everybody's name out? No one's been charged with a crime. Put all these people's names out, and suddenly, because they had an interaction with that was completely benign, they're labeled as one of his buddies?
What's Miss Maxwell doing in jail? What did she do? Where is that? You know, who did she provide whatever she did? Why is she in jail? You know, that's got to be a question that should be asked at some point. But again, under the previous administration, we're not going to get that. Dead men tell no tales. He's dead, and
well, I just want to be clear what you're saying. Are you saying the previous administration destroyed everything, or are you saying that the Trump administration is basically doing the same thing as the previous administration?
No, I think they destroyed everything.
Yes, I don't know what to actually believe here because I'm confused. This is a senator. He claimed that the Biden administration destroyed everything. Why? We just got breaking news. Pam Bondi says she's still reviewing that after saying something contrary the other day. At the end of the day, I don't know, a lot of people are now going off on the Trump administration. At a certain point, I don't know when this will end. I thought I would not be doing videos about this again. Now going into something. Though weighs in on the Epstein controversies, I know for a fact dogs are being suppressed to protect individuals. I know their names and why they are being suppressed, but I'm bound by confidentiality, so I can't disclose it. Files are being suppressed to protect them, and that is wrong. That is it.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely on the Epstein, and ultimately I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them, but I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them, and that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity, without names, are these politicians, business leaders, both?
They're everything. And let me tell you, a lot of them are, at least one of them is somebody who was accused. Others are accusers. And the judges have said, if somebody calls themselves a victim, we're not going to give any information about them. But they may not be victims. They may be perpetrators. So we don't have information about false accusers. And we know there have been many false accusers who have accused innocent people for money. And those records are being deliberately, willfully suppressed. And they shouldn't be suppressed. If the accusation is allowed out, so should the material that diminishes the credibility of the accuser. We want total transparency on this. Every single document, no redaction. That's what I've said from day one. I waive any of my rights to privacy. Anything there is about me, I'm happy because it will be exculpatory, because I know I haven't touched a woman other than my wife from the day I met Jeffrey Epstein. I don't even hug people, but I was falsely accused and I was able to prove it. And I was able to prove it through documents. And I want other people to be able to disprove false accusations through documents. But these documents are being suppressed and withheld.
Thank you guys for been there sharing out my videos. I don't want to make the video long, so I'll be ending here. For people who still doubt how I speak, I see your comment. I have never changed my tone. If you know me from day one, this is how I speak. Some says they don't know this kind of accent. Well, that is how I speak in real life. If you meet me on the street, I can't change. I'm not pretending or faking anything. This is me. I don't want to always like to reply this comment, but I'm about to. If you see short clips at the end, that is for the YT algorithm.
And there aren't young girls who can point the fingers. There is Virginia Giuffre, I hope is coloring, that in on assessing my own bias.
Files, if not all the files. So they were the ones that raised this issue.
Yeah. The lie at this point is not even part of this is true.
Yes.
The lie is a signal to everybody else involved in the scheme.
People line up for my advice, and you're walking away like I'm stupid. It's like,
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize?
why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like
She's seriously depressed about how hard it is to live in the White House.
Post this morning alleging that since I said I will prevail.
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense because kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you...
Because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything. And then the
Registration Act is
talking about
term, and you will be very...
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does.
And black people don't want to live around ratchet black.
how bad is his reputation going to be?
But it did cause me some issues for sure.